Twilight Sparkle. Her fantasy hoofball stats would say something like, she's a young adult unicorn who moved from Camelot to Ponyville to study friendship. She's good at magic, researching, and has an almost super pony intellect. She's also pretty neurotic. But above all else, she loves and cares for her friends deeply. But she's not just stats on a trading card. She's the main character to this silly little show that has bolstered so much attention and affection. She was the quintessential new kid in town. She taught us all of the norms, how things work, how the characters work, how they interact with each other without any of the expositionary dialogue seeming forced. In short, Twilight Sparkle was the audience's in. Now this is nothing new, stories have been doing it for years. The new Power Rangers just did it. The Red Ranger was the new kid in town.
Since you have met adversity in your life with great skill, you shall be the Red Ranger, and like the dragon, you will serve as the team's leader.
There must be a mistake here. I'm new in town.
I had mentioned that Twilight Sparkle was a hero, not just because she saved Equestria twice. I mean, hell, Spike did that once, and he's a puss. He's not the kind of hero I'm talking about. Twilight is on the hero's journey. Now what's that, you might ask? For those of you that don't know, it's a literary tool of sorts that was brought to light by Joseph Campbell in his book The Hero with a Thousand Faces. It's a narrative idea that all heroes, no matter who created them or what culture spawned them, there are these 17 universal steps that almost all heroes go through on their quest to becoming true heroes. The call to adventure. This is, as the name implies, push off the cliff that starts the hero on their way. Campbell uses the Frog Prince in his example, but it could be anything from a wizard showing up on your doorstep to a fairy waking you up, or even a crazed soldier screaming about bugs in a bar. For Twilight Sparkle, this is arguably when Celestia sends Twilight to check on the Summer Sun celebration preparations. I say this because this is the first time Twilight has to leave her comfort zone, and Campbell often refers to the call to adventure as the first dip into the realm of the fantastical that the hero will soon embark on. For Twilight, she literally goes to this new place to meet new people, and that's the thing that Twilight lacks the most, the ability to talk to people, the ability to make friends. And that's something she's going to need if she's going to attain her realized self, which is often the goal of the hero's journey. Step 2. The refusal of the call. This step ties in closely with step 1. It's the step that is devoted to the hero telling whoever it may be that is putting out this call that they're not going to go. This could be for a multitude of reasons, ranging from they don't think they're good enough to handle the task that they've been given, they don't want to lose what they have, or simply put, they don't want to get in trouble. This step is actually quite funny when it comes to Twilight's refusal. It's not that she thinks she can't handle the task, or that she doesn't want to lose what she has, or even that she's going to get in trouble. It's because she actually thinks the journey is a waste of time and is not going to work and fix the problem.
Because I'm right. I'll check on the preparations as fast as I can, then get to the library to find some proof of Nightmare Moon's return.
Then when will you make friends like the princess said?
She said to check on preparations. I am her student, and I'll do my royal duty, but the fate of Equestria does not rest on me making friends.
Step 3. Supernatural Aid. This is the step in which the hero gets the item they are going to need to get through the labors ahead. This is Link's Master Sword or Frodo's Blade given to him by his uncle. This step is actually 1/2 items and 1/2 guide. The guide is the person that actually gives the item to the hero. A literal guide would be Virgil from Dante's Inferno, but it could also be a little girl with a glitch problem or an all-knowing genie. So then, who is Twilight's guide? And what does the guide give Twilight that is so great? Well, it's Celestia and the Elements of Harmony. Celestia is the one that gives the strength, knowledge, and power to Twilight Sparkle so she can continue on her journey. She is the one Twilight Sparkle keeps going to when she doesn't know what else to do. She also is the one that gives Twilight Sparkle the Elements of Harmony and continues to give her the Elements of Harmony throughout the show. The Elements of Harmony are a simple example of the item that the hero is going to need to complete their journey. They are a Deus Ex Machina laser that can utilize the hero's strengths, in Twilight's case it's magic and friendship, to defeat the evils that are plaguing the land. Twilight is now on the 4th step of the hero's journey, the crossing of the first threshold. This is the moment when the hero can't go back to what she had. The hero has opened the proverbial, and in some cases the literal Pandora's box. What is this moment for Twilight then? Some may say it's the moment when she first meets Nightmare Moon and enters the Everfree Forest for the first time. And that does make a lot of sense. She should probably go save her mentor. That true moment of no return for Twilight Sparkle is right here.
You think you can destroy the elements of harmony just like that? Well, you're wrong, because the spirits of the elements of harmony are right here!
Twilight gets it now. She understands the importance of friendship. She understands that she needs to learn more about this and that making friends is very important to everybody. She's decided that she's not going to go back to what she had, and she's not going to give up. She's going to continue on with her lessons in friendship. Campbell also talks about an entity that guards the threshold. He calls it the gatekeeper. Someone or something that doesn't want to change, that epitomizes the old world and ways. This role in Twilight Sparkle's journey is played by Nightmare Moon. The relationship between Nightmare Moon and Twilight Sparkle is a great example of how the Guardian has to reflect the hero's shortcomings, so that the hero may see them and realize that they need to beat the Guardian and cross the threshold. Step 5 is the belly of the whale, the lowest point for our hero. It's also the point at which the hero is torn apart by the two worlds that she is now a part of. The whale itself, often literal, is a metaphor for the world that the heroes now found themselves a part of. This is often too much for the hero, and they just want to give up and let go. They want to end their journey right here and now. This moment for Twilight is at the very beginning of Season 2, actually. When we meet Discord, he is our whale. He looks nothing like a whale, nor is he huge enough to swallow Twilight whole, but she gets into Discord's belly another way. It's that goofball Ponyville that the main six go back to. It's at that moment everything Twilight knew about the new world she was just getting used to got turned on its head and thrown out the window. And more importantly, her friends are just not who they should be. This leaves Twilight alone in the world, with no one around, just how she started out. But now she's lost something, her new friends, her new home, and it's crushing her. Campbell talks about to overcome the beast they are now trapped inside, the hero must be willing to give themselves up and die or be reborn somehow. So how does Twilight do this? She is reminded by the guide, or Celestia, about everything she has learned since she's gotten there. Celestia sends all the letters she has written about friendship, and they give Twilight a newfound strength to go on, to be reborn, or in her case, recolored. This gives her the strength to save her friends and blah blah, MacGuffins of Harmony, blah blah, Discord gets stoned, and the world is safe. We all know how it goes. Step 6 is a bit tricky when it comes to this particular case. This step is the road of trials. This is where the hero has to overcome parts of herself to become a better person, worthy of what's at the end of this journey. The Trials of Hercules are the best and most literal examples of these. For Twilight Sparkle, it's a bit more gray since the show is episodic and often could occur in any kind of order you want them to, and they can't just have Twilight go off on a training montage for the rest of the season. But Campbell does say that these trials often come in threes, and there were 3 Twilight-centered episodes in Season 2. Not including the opening and ending two-parters, those are for different steps. The first one, Lesson 0, is where Twilight learns that she doesn't always need a letter, and she's able to mostly overcome her obsession with friendship as a school report and just live it and understand it and experience friendship for what it is. Luna Eclipsed is the second episode, when she gets to guide someone. We've already talked about being very representatory of the old world that Twilight had left. She gets to show Luna how to make friends in this new world, show what she has learned, so how much she has grown and really solidify those changes. And finally, it's About Time, the episode where Twilight literally is faced with herself. Not quite the level of Link versus Shadow Link, but she does finally understand how worrisome and nitpicky she can be about everything. While not an amazing lesson, for this case I really think it works. It does prove a good point about how overly worried Twilight can get about little and big things. Also, on another little side note, Twilight actually faces down Cerberus in this episode, and Hercules also had to face down Cerberus during his trials. Just saying. Step 7, meeting with the goddess. This step is all about the hero finding love. When this step is broken down to its most basic form, you get the knight saving the princess from the dragon model. This step is often used in films to introduce the hero's love interest. The important thing to remember when it comes to this step is that love comes in many forms. Campbell explains that the love that the hero shares does not need to be a new love between strangers. It just needs to be a pure and honest love, like one between a mother and his son. Campbell continues to explain that this step is there to give the hero something to fight for, something that allows the hero to look past themselves and fight for something greater than just their own personal reasons. This whole step takes place during the royal wedding. Twilight's princess is shining armor. That clearly strong and pure love that she has for her brother and how jealous she is about losing him to someone else gives Twilight a chance to grow and learn about love. She has to save her brother from an evil shape-shifting queen and in turn save the kingdom. So then, if Twilight is the knight, Shining Armor is the princess, and Chrysalis is the dragon, how does Cadance fit into this whole thing? This step also talks about the goddess replacing or otherwise upgrading the hero's supernatural aid in some way. The hero may get a new power, or they may just get a new guide, one that is often better than the old one. Cadance is the new guide. She's honestly the one that takes care of Queen Chrysalis with love, because, you know, love is kind of her thing, when not even Celestia could take care of it. Twilight learns about how truly powerful love is. This example is a special case for this step because most often they don't make the love an honest-to-God weapon, but I applaud the show for their different take on this whole idea and have both the new guide idea and the rescuing the princess idea together. It's not that easy to do, and they did it quite well.
The next step, step 8, is known as Woman as Temptress. Like the prior step, it is not meant to be taken literally. Campbell just uses this example to play on the trope of the often male hero being tempted by hot chicks. There's an episode of DBZ where Goku is running down Snake Way, and the Snake Queen in her harem tries to get him to give up on his quest.
Please stay a while.
I'm kinda in a hurry, ma'am.
Oh, at least stay for dinner.
Huh? Dinner?
In any case, the woman doesn't have to be the true temptation. It's more that the earthly desires are the temptation that stop our hero from reaching their goals. So what is Twilight Sparkle's snake harem? To be honest, I don't really think there is any one thing that is Twilight Sparkle's temptress. The best answer I could come up with is the episodes themselves, the ones with Twilight in them anyways. Twilight is faced with all sorts of little problems that do try to directly stop her from her quest. That quest being to discover how magical friendship is.
I think the letters that she writes to Celestia, the little everyday hurdles she overcomes to better herself and her friends, when she could just say, whatever, not my problem, I'm just the librarian. Those moments are when we see her shine, and it shows that she is still on her way to proving that friendship is magic. Step 9, the atonement with the father. This step is about standing up to whatever it may be that holds the key to the hero's quest. This is often the father or a father-like figure, but even then, it doesn't need to be that direct. It just needs to be someone or something that the hero aspires to be or aspires to be nothing like. For Ralph in Wreck-It Ralph, Ralph's quote-unquote father is Turbo, a hero of his own game turned villain, whereas Ralph gets to be the villain turned hero. Now, we have never met Twilight's father, so we really know nothing about him. So then, who does Twilight need to confront to become the hero she's meant to be? One word. That's right, guys. King Sombrero is the final boss. Who'd have guessed it? I mean, actually, I'm only kind of half joking. Sure, he was the problem that Twilight needed to overcome, but the person that Twilight really needed to stare down was Celestia. It's true. For Twilight, Celestia is her quote-unquote father figure. She has been her guide this whole time. She is the former wielder of the elements. She is the one who Twilight most respects and admires. So how does this link to King Sombra? Well, the one thing Twilight fears the most is failing. We know this, it's been proven time and time again. So what happens when she fails the one person she respects more than anyone? Twilight doesn't want to find out. She's worried that she can't handle it, and that's just it. Celestia knows that Twilight's worried. She also knows that Twilight can arise to the occasion. She's done it before. Twilight needs to show that she has grown and can actually handle failure, as well as standing up to Celestia and disobeying her orders and trusting her friends to get the job done. Not just telling her friends what to do, Well, quite literally, letting go and let everyone else carry some of the burden, because that is what friends do. When Summer was defeated, Twilight thought she had failed, but she wasn't neurotic. She wasn't trying to think of a last minute out. She knew what she had did, and she was okay with it, because she knew it was the right thing to do. So we all know what that means.
I passed! Oh, yeah!
Step 10 and 11. Apotheosis and the ultimate boon. I decided to combine the next two steps because most of the time they follow each other quite closely in almost every story. Apotheosis is that quiet moment before the hero dies and is reborn again. But this time with the ultimate boon. The ultimate boon is the item or the goal the hero's been striving for this whole time. In most stories it's immortality or some kind of ultimate knowledge which then leads to immortality. So yeah, it's basically immortality. Twilight Sparkle is no different. Twilight's moments of apotheosis are spent over the course of 2 episodes in both Games Ponies Play and the first half of Magical Mystery Cure. I know it sounds kind of odd to say that Games Ponies Play has any kind of value, but quite honestly, I think it's a great reflection of everything that Twilight has learned, and like in Luna Eclipsed, it gives us a more solidified version of this new, confident Twilight Sparkle. One who's not so worried and willing to trust her friends to handle things. Case in point, how surprised Twilight is that she's not freaking out. Now, we finally get to see Twilight die. Again. And be reborn. Again. In Magical Mystery Cure, she gets blasted by her friends and explodes and goes into the ether and meets with her guide, father figure, mentor, whom she's already atoned with. Celestia is there to give her her reward for proving that she has learned what friendship truly means. That she has learned to look past Celestia or even Cadence and solve a problem all on her own. Not for some grade or because someone told her to, but because she knew that she needed to help her friends. This shows that Twilight has what it takes to be a great leader and take over for Celestia. So she's rewarded with the highest honor in all of Equestria, Alicornhood, or Princesship, or immortality, the ultimate boon. But Twilight's journey is not over yet. She still has 6 more steps, and those are all part of the last leg of her journey, known as the return. The last leg of this journey is all about the returning, and using what knowledge the hero has learned, and the strengths that the heroes have gained to fix the problems that were plaguing the land that they had left. These steps are as followed. Flight of the boon. The hero uses their boon to get out of an immediate danger. The refusal of the return. They don't want to go back to save the old world they came from. Rescue from without. The hero's friends or mentor help convince the hero that they need to go back to that old world. Crossing the return threshold. This is when they finally do go back to that old world. This step is mostly reflective. Master of the 2 worlds. This step is about becoming spiritually and physically one with yourself and the world. Freedom to live. This step means the hero has finally completed their long journey, and they can now do whatever they want. Their future is in their own hands, and they can shape it however they see fit. Twilight has not really gone through these steps, and honestly, I'm not entirely sure how they're going to make some of these steps work, but that's for Season 4 to explain. The only real step that seems important to me, at least, when it comes to Twilight Sparkle, is the last one, that freedom to live. Twilight now has the power to live how she chooses. She is shaping her own destiny. She can now choose to be Celestia's successor, or a librarian in Ponyville. She might even choose both of them. Only time will tell. So, this is it. We've covered Twilight Sparkle's growth from the very beginning to the end-ish. At least to where we are now. And I'm not saying that when Lauren Faust first wrote Twilight Sparkle, she had every little detail planned out for her as a character. I'm not saying that the Princess Alicorn Twilight Sparkle doesn't help Hasbro sell more girly toys. But let's just pretend for a second that this whole thing never happened. What then happens to Twilight Sparkle's character? It kind of cracks. There is no payoff, and Twilight would never be able to grow past being a student who studies friendship. Everything, from the first episode that aired 3 years ago to where we are now, has shaped her to be Celestia's successor. This is all a fine example of great storytelling. If you don't like what Twilight Sparkle's payoff was, fine. But don't blindly call it lazy or fan pandering or the big evil corporation is distorting and destroying the thing you love the most just for a quick buck. Sometimes that does happen, and it really sucks. I mean, it really sucks. But I don't think that is the case for My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. If you don't believe me, just listen to what Faust has to say.
I had a vision for the destinies of all these characters. I wanted Rarity to get her shop in Canterlot. I wanted Rainbow Dash to become a Wonderbolt. I wanted Twilight Sparkle to eventually become Celestia's successor. I wanted the Cutie Mark Crusaders all to get their cutie marks. A little bit of more mythology coming in, what the elements of harmony really are. And through the series, I was constantly laying little seeds here and there to take them to that destiny. And it's still sad for me that